it's Jane here. I'm up at the plot because it is the middle of April now, and it's about time I started talking about beans, which I'm sure you are completely ahead of the game with, but I'm not. So today I'm going to be showing you how and where I sow my beans indoors, and whereabouts, more importantly, I'm going to be planting them when they're ready to come out, because last year my bean harvest was pants. So first of all, brownie points for anybody who can tell me what this is. If I can just give you some context here about last year's beans. We had them in 2 rows in front of the mystery plant, there and there, and we dug lovely trenches which we filled with vegetable peelings and things as we went on, so that by the time it came to plant the beans, the soil we were hoping would be quite nutritious. The other thing that we did, and this has really interested me actually, because I've only noticed it in the last day or two, we lined some of the trenches with comfrey leaves, which are an absolutely brilliant fertiliser. You don't just have to make comfrey tea or comfrey, what's the other one, concentrate. You can actually just use the leaves. So we use the leaves to line the trench, but I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. I've noticed we've actually this year, we seem to be growing a line of comfrey, which is obviously, as we've torn the leaves up, there must be the tiniest bits of roots have been in there. So clearly this is going to have to come up because, you know, as you know, it's like mint, it's invasive. If you're going to grow it in a garden, try and contain it in something. But yeah, it's all just come up in this little line, along with a few little sycamore seedlings. So that's going to come up. So really, we thought we had done the best by the beans, and yet our crop, it was just awful. So it might be that we put them in too late. You start to consider what it is you've done and what you could have done differently. Now, the year before we had a fabulous crop of beans, and they were going this way, right? Which might mean nothing to you at the moment, but the sun sets over there, so the sun is setting to the west. Okay, rises over there, goes right over the plot. So when we had a good crop of beans, it was going from north to south-ish. Okay, last year it was going from east to west-ish. Okay, slight angles in there, but I'm wondering if there's any truth then in the fact that, you know, one way is better than the other way. So this year we are once again going to be going from north to south. We are going to be putting them in a much more exposed spot really. So this one here is lovely, but there's quite a lot of trees around, so not that they create too much shade, but we want to give the beans as much benefit as we can. And we've also got the great big gorgeous cooking apple tree behind, so you really don't know how much damage those roots are doing or how much nutrients they're leaching out of the soil. So we are going to move one plot down and we are going to do them north to south. Let me know, I'd be really interested if you've tried both ways, which way works best for you, or whether it just doesn't make any difference at all, but we're going to give it a go. Oh, this is nice. I tell you what, I hope this is a sign of things to come, because we're past Easter now. I think we can start saying we're heading towards summer. So anyway, I'm still in my big fleecy top with layers, but never mind. Right, I just wanted to show you the beans that I am growing. What I'm hoping for this year is to have 20 of each variety. So in the end, I should end up with 80 bean plants. I mean, to be honest, I haven't even looked about how many you get in the packet. So let's see. First of all, I just grabbed these. My favourite. Okay. Bullati beans. Absolutely love them. Yeah, they were one of my, when I got an allotment, they were one of the first things I tried, and I couldn't believe how good a bean could taste. So looks like it doesn't tell you how many seeds there are in there, but they are a climbing bean, so they will go up one of the bamboo canes. So we're going to do basically the would it be a tent? It's not a teepee. We're going to do the X style bamboo canes to grow them up. I hope that makes sense. That's what we've done year on year with mixed results. The other climbing bean that we've got is Cobra, which we've done before. That one says 50 seeds. Okay, so I know I'm okay for those. So on one side of our plot our legume plot, we will have those two. And on the other side, we're going to have Cosse Violet, again, which is a climbing bean, but it's a lovely, lovely purple colour. Now, we got these, when were these packed? So by end of 6th of the 2nd, 20. So they're a year out of date, but to me, they still look viable. So I'm sorry, I'm squinting again, aren't I? I'll never learn. It's just nice sitting in the sun though, isn't it? And then these ones are from 2018, and these were saved seed, and let's just have a look. A little bit mouldy, but there's one or two in there that could do, but let's see if we can get 20 decent seeds out of those. So that's another climbing bean. And then the other one that I'm really excited about, because it's so good to be able to try new things, especially when someone you respect as a grower has grown them before, is the lovely, let's make sure I get this right, the Madeira Maroon French bean from Paul Savardant. And if you can just look, I'm going to have to put these, a group of these, let's hope I don't drop them on the floor, in my hand. Look at the colour of them. How beautiful are they? I thought Borlottis were lovely, but they are just gorgeous. So really excited about growing them. So yeah, I think there's about 20 there. However, as is always the case, then looking through my stash, I came across a few more, and they were these gorgeous ones that I grew last year and the year before, and they were climbing yellow bean Kentucky Wonder Wax. And the reason I liked them is the beans, they melted in your mouth, especially if you pick the pods young. I'm talking about eating the pods, not the actual beans inside, which you can do as well. Just stunning, you know, and they kept their colour, obviously, because they were yellow. Now I've only got, what, 9 of those, and that one looks a bit ropey. But I'm going to put them in at the end of a row, you know, it won't do any harm, will it? Someone will come back and say, it's the worst thing you can do. You know, I can do it. Anyway. Right, okay, so they're my climbing beans. Then in the middle, so I've got one there, which is going to leave me a gap in the middle. I am, and you might be a bit shocked by this, but probably not too surprised, I am going to grow my broad beans, which I haven't sown yet, and a dwarf French bean. Okay? So whether I will do them east to west, north to south, it doesn't matter so much with the smaller ones, but they shouldn't have too much shade taken away by the climbing beans on either side. So I'll have a few rows of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's I caught a fish alive? There we go. I've gone completely off track now. Oh yeah, with those as well, between any space I've got left in my bean bed, it's going to have lettuce, chard, spinach. All these vegetables go really, really well with beans. They are great companions for beans. But what you do not want to be growing with them are things like onions, any of the allium family, chives, leeks, because they do something happens in the roots that stops the beans fixing nitrogen in the soil. So it inhibits quite a lot of their growth. Tell me if you've tried it. You might have done it and had no problem at all, but that is what I believe happens. So I'm sticking with all the nice green things: beans, chard, lettuce and spinach. So I better shut up and get on with planting some. Okay, first up is going to be my Borlotti bean, my favourite there. And I'm going to be planting these up in these 3-inch pots. Now, I am just going to be using plain, can you actually see? You can. I'm just going to be using plain potting compost. I know when I've been planting a lot of seeds recently, I've been mixing it with vermiculite, but these are going to be in these pots. I know they're quite large pots for one seed, but they're going to be in there for a good 6 weeks, at least 6 weeks, depending on the last frost date. So yeah, I want to make sure that they have got everything they need in that pot, and they're not going to be checked at all by running out of room or out of compost. So I'm just going to put it in, tamp it down. That's how I tamp things down. I use another similar size pot. Okay, make a little hole. It's very scientific. And pop in a bean. And now if I show you the bean, if I can get one out of the packet, you've got, on your bean, you've got a little eye. Can you see that little eye there? Whereabouts? There. Okay, that is the shoot that the bean is going to grow out of. So if you can be bothered, you put that eye facing upwards, as so, and cover it up. Squash it over, first one done. And that's it. That's as easy as it is to do beans, which is why they're a great thing for kids to get involved in. If you know anyone at a local school, I'm not just kids, but any sort of community groups, anything where they're just starting to get interested in gardening, brilliant thing to do, because they're really nice seeds to handle. They grow really quickly. That's too deep. I don't want it too deep. I want it about an inch slightly more down. Yeah, they grow really quickly. You know, they're great things to get hold of. They're great things to draw. You can't go wrong with a bean. And also, let's not forget the harvest. You get the lovely flowers, which get full of bees. And then you get to harvest them and eat them. And you don't even just get to harvest the bean. If you're growing this sort of bean, you get the pod and the bean. So it's a win-win really. So even if you've just got a handful of beans, if you save from last year, get them in and get other people interested in doing them. The other thing, that's what I was going to mention actually, saving them, usually once you have got a set of beans, is that right? There must be a better word than that. Once you've got a particular bean and you've discovered that you absolutely love it, they are so easy to store. Unless you knew this was coming, you're like me and you lost them. Yeah, I've got a lovely packet of gigantic beans, that would be a thing, wouldn't it? Gigantes beans in the house somewhere, which I'm sure I'll find around about July when it's too late to plant them. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going with these. It's actually a really nice thing to do on a day like this. Get these out the way and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. There we go. That's most of them anyway, but to be honest, they've started to get a bit cold. So what I'm going to do now is take them to their indoor resting place and give them a really good water. So come on, I'll show you where they're going to go. Okay, and here they are in the Mellon Award-winning polytunnel. They're on the polytunnel table along with other plants yet to be dealt with that I'll talk to you about another time. But yeah, all I've done, I have used some propagator covers, which I know don't fit perfectly, but will just give some sort of protection in here because we're still getting frosts at night. Hopefully we're coming through that now, but we're going to look after them as best we can. I didn't get the broad beans sown, I haven't done that yet, but let me know how you do your beans. Do you miss this stage out? Have you already got yours in the ground and under fleece? Do you direct sow? Do you dig trenches? Do you do no dig? North to south, east to west, all these answers, questions and more, let me know in the comments below. What I've done and what I tend to do each year is I sow as many as I want, and then when they are planted out, if they succumb to anything nasty or naughty, I'll then fill in the gaps with the seed that I've got left over. So it's always worthwhile keeping a handful of seed back. Okay, so yeah, let me know in the comments below. Come and say hi on Instagram, come and say hi on Facebook, and have a good time in your garden. Okay, I'm going to go before I start waffling on. But see you again very soon. Okay, bye for now.